Hello. So it's Virgo season. The sun is officially a whole degree in Virgo. I didn't even it didn't fully register until my journey buddy was like, "Happy Virgo season," and I was like, "Oh snap, it's Virgo season." So I'm gonna do that thing that I do sometimes, which is whenever there's a transit or whatever, I pull cards to see. We're gonna switch it up today to see what something of interest, what's for us to know, learn, take forward from the previous season being Leo season, and then a little bit of the hollow void is at the cut. I saw it at the cut when I broke the first deck. The hollow void and the archangel of mysteries. The angel who illuminates the shadow, maybe the angel who illuminates the void. Um, And then I see what the current season is going to bring. And then, like, one of the first things, the energy, first impression, first encounter, what that's going to be. Usually, I use the SKT Vitruvian edition for the previous season and the Revelation edition for the current one. But I'm going to switch it up today. Today, the current season is going to be the Vitruvian edition, and the previous season is going to be the Revelations edition. And then we'll just see what's up. So, let's do this. I've been kind of nervous, I feel like, the last few times. I'm less viscerally nervous today. But that's because I was using those Bloomborough whatevers. And I was like, this is not the fantasy that I thought it would be. Um, but I had a talk with my journey buddy, and I've said it on this channel a few times. I said it when I was probably about a month ago, or a month and some change ago. Well, yes, a month and some change ago. Um, I know why. I think when I first, with my North Node Sagittarius, when I first started using my channel, I did so for a reason. It's a reason I've talked about before multiple times. Not necessarily a lot, but before. Um, and now, I don't know, I was talking to my journey buddy. She was like, you need to release yourself of the responsibility to be other people's discernment. And I was like, oof. No one's asked me to be their discernment. Lord knows I don't want that responsibility. Um, but I feel like there have been a lot of times when I feel like I have to mention so much of the environment within, in, and without of an energy to help, like, to provide enough context to help in discerning if it resonates or not, or how it may resonate. And again, no one necessarily asked me to do that. Not necessarily, no one asked me to do that. And so I won't. I'll do my best to not. So anyway, let's see what's up. I'm gonna put these here. Will you stay? It stays. I want you to stay. Hollowed Flame. Ace of Scepters, the Awakening at the bottom of the deck. Can you tell that I'm not using my phone and my mom's ring light stand thing? She was like, the quality was so much better. And I'm like, you say so. All right, Leo season. One second. All right, I'm back. I don't know why that song is in my head. I think it's Rihanna. Ooh, the captor in the dynasty. There is going to be that lunar eclipse in Pisces. This is Virgo season. All right, Leo season in 3 cards. Ooh, first, the Herald of the Winds. Ventures of the Dauntless. Second, oh, that was so smooth how it slid over. The Erudite, which is the Hermit, which is Virgo. And third is the Shining Waters. Bottom of the deck is the Scarlet Shield. There's the Sanctum of the Valiant. Yeah, Sanctum of the Valiant. Okay. Waves of the Undine is the Shining Waters. Oh, this is the Page of Swords. I don't know why I thought the Herald was the Knight. So I'm going to cut this. The Haunt. 9 of Swords. Is the message. The pages come with messages in the Spirit Keeper's Tarot. In the Revelations edition, there are these like sealed scrolls at the bottom. In the Vitruvian edition, they're like letters. And it's interesting that Ventures of the Dauntless is the sort of tagline for the Herald of the Winds, when the Haunt is the card that came out. Page of Swords, 9 of Swords, energies. But with the Erudite being the next card, it's not surprising. The Erudite is the Hermit. Hermit of the Mysteries is its tagline. And it's looking at this Herald of the Winds. And so is the gold perched on its staff. They're both facing that direction. That's the 9 of Wands. Mars is in Gemini right now, isn't it? Mars in Gemini. So this is something that could have been not a worst case scenario, not a nightmare, definitely unpleasant. Mars is in Gemini, 22 degrees, separating from a conjunction with Jupiter. There's like 4 degrees, 4.5 degrees between them right now. Anything in Earth? Taurus holds Uranus in late degree. Capricorn has Ceres at 7 degrees. So those will be the trines to the sun. Sextiles to the sun, nothing in Cancer. Pallas Athena and Lilith, late in Scorpio. Saturn's at 17 degrees retrograding. Neptune's at 29. That would be opposing the sun later. So when the sun opposes Neptune, it will be trining Uranus. And Pluto, if it's crossed the. I mean, I guess it's still going to be. No. Yeah, I guess it would still be trining Pluto, but I don't know if it would be Pluto. Oh yeah, so Pluto crosses into Capricorn on the first. So Pluto will be in Capricorn when that happens. Yeah, because that's 10 degrees of Virgo. So it will also be trining Pluto in Capricorn. Anyway, the hunt with this Nine of Swords, I was just looking to see if Mars is still in Gemini, and it is. Um, I like the Nine of Swords in the Revelations edition because there's like a light in this darkness here. Oh, this is a 9-9. Nine of Swords in the Erudite 9. Um, but it's more so like it's not even necessarily the shadows, but I guess it is. It feels like it's related to the shadow because of its location more so than because of its nature, if that makes sense. Like it may be in a shadowy part of the mind or the self, just like a part that isn't visited frequently, but it's not necessarily something that carries aspects that you would associate with the shadow. Like this shadowy thing, more so like unknown, rather than maybe like a part of the ego or hurt, pain, or trauma or something like that. The thing itself doesn't feel like shadow, but the things around it could be actually. And if we've seen it and interacted with it enough to liberate it, whatever that looks like, that's what sort of moves it to it puts it in the hands of the erudite. Luke's ex tenebris, light from shadow. This will be a light that was liberated from the shadow. Also, again, why it's the ventures of the dauntless. The undaunted made it past these gatekeepers, almost like anyone who's broken into the underworld. There was Orpheus, and her name started with a T, I think. I can only remember one of them. I very, very, very rarely remember both of them. Why is Energy Saver turned on? Oh, I didn't plug in my laptop. Ooh, this thing. Oh, it's almost dead. Oh, that would have been hilarious. I'm glad it sent a notification because I was like, why is my screen blue? Energy Saver, what? It's not plugged up. It wasn't plugged up. Um, Orpheus and whatever her name is, I always forget how he went down into the underworld to try to get her back. Hercules might have gone into the underworld, or that might be just Disney's Hercules. I know like someone else has gone down there. When Orpheus went, he had his lyre to put Cerberus, the guard dog gatekeeper, to sleep. And he almost got her out, but violated the conditions of her release at the last minute. And the condition was like, you won't look back. You can take her with you. He went down there to save his lover or to bring her back. And Hades, Pluto let it happen on the condition that he didn't turn back while he was still in the underworld. And because she was a ghost, because she was silent, he was unsure if she was behind him. And so basically at the finish line, but before he crossed it, he turned around to make sure that she was there. And as soon as he did, he violated the thing and she went back to the underworld. But anyway, it's just like getting past the guardians with this hunt and making it back. So the hunt is like the descent into the underworld. And then upon ascent from it, it becomes this erudite. Virgo, hermit energy, light from darkness. But then we have the shining waters after that. The waves of the Undine. For some reason, this makes me think of when I used the Uno lottery ticket and it was the one. There was the heart of Earth. And in the first one, it was that, like, basically the Earth, because it was the energy of 15 and 15 was the shapeshifter. I don't think I said it in the reading. I mean, I mentioned that, but it was an energy like once we really got to know whoever Earth was in that reading, then like Earth changes. And it's just like, anyone who maybe isn't necessarily super quick to open up or the easiest person to get to know in 10 minutes, when they do open up, it's almost like they're a completely different person, almost like their whole personality changes. And it's because of the relationship dynamic that is now changed deeper. And something about that, something being like a completely new person, a completely different energy, or a completely different experience, because now there's a bond that has been built or established, is here in the shining waters. I don't know if it's something that doesn't have to be hidden anymore. And so maybe Leo season saw at least the beginnings of a deepening of some kind of relationship or the beginnings of some kind of transformation. But the transformation is more like a revealing than a complete change, right? Because again, if you really get to know someone and you get comfortable with someone and you each show each other different sides of yourself, you wouldn't necessarily say that you transformed or the other person transformed. You just got more comfortable and revealed those things to one another. And I feel like the connotation of transformation a lot of times is that something is no longer what it used to be. And the truth is, it did used to be that way, but it wasn't known. So, yes, it changes, but it doesn't necessarily transform. The Sanctum of the Valiant at the bottom of the deck in this Scarlet Shield. I'm going to do it. I'm going to look before and after the Nine of Wands. Because the Guardian of the Crossroads is the person that is here in the Nine of Swords. Excuse me. She may be at the top of the deck. I'm looking from the bottom. There she is. In between the Force and the Archangel of Glory. The Jupiter and Gemini. Jupiter is also in Gemini, is it not? Jupiter, yeah. Mars is separating from Jupiter and Gemini. Mars and Gemini is on the table. Jupiter and Gemini actually is that Eight of Swords that, what, did it come out or something? Because I remember mentioning that there's a lunar eclipse in Virgo season. It's between the Three of Cups and the Sun, the warrior and the kindred. That warrior and kindred is almost this Knight of Cups energy. I'm going to pull those two. Why not? Because in this Sanctum of the Valiant, it feels like it's a meeting place for many dauntless and valiant individuals. But for some reason, it's coming across as this Knight of Cups, Shining Waters, Waves of the Undine. Kindred spirits, the warrior and the kindred. And then the Force and the Archangel of Glory. See, this, she reads as the same to me today. She looks the same, maybe a little younger in the hunt, but the lady with the torch there. See, in the hunt, she's holding her staff, and it is a light. Well, she's got two staves that are a light, actually, in the hunt. But because it's darker in the Nine of Swords, you can more easily see the illumination of the flame. But it's that background behind her in the hunt. It feels like that's where this Queen of Swords Scarlet Shield is. And that's funny because these are what, ziggurat type structures. Look, there's the Knight of Swords, the one that I confused the page for. I started watching Jane the Virgin, and they're gonna take it off of Netflix in like 2 weeks. So it's fine. I'm not gonna finish it probably. But she meets her father, and they recreate Chichen Itza, however you pronounce it. And I know Russ was there probably about a year ago, maybe, or longer, because I don't know what time is anymore. But I know Russ went to Chichen Itza, I think on his birthday or around his birthday, maybe last year. It had to be last year, right? It wasn't 2 years ago, or was it? I don't know. And I was like, wow, ancient Mayan temple. He was like, I climbed to the top of the temple and I prayed. And she was like, what did you pray for? And he was like, great fame. And he's a famous telenovela actor. But then to see these here, oh, maybe it is Mayan because of the thing there. Those could be I don't think I have the book of maps on my iPad. Actually, I might. I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily full color. Yeah, this is it. It was the last thing I had read too. Come on. Yep, there it is. Book of Maps. All right. Let me see. Because she will say what's on the background. Golden Shield, Scarlet Shield, Sanctum of the Valiant, Mesoamerican style. So, yes. There's the city state, Mexico, Tenochtitlan. I never know how to pronounce that. So, maybe not. Circuses, Reconstruction. So, I mean, I don't know. Valley of Mexico, maybe. Yeah, she goes into a whole bunch of detail. I wouldn't even know what the significance of that is, but I literally just saw a recreation of the Mayan temple, and then here she is at the bottom of the deck. Maybe, though, instead of it being like specifically Mayan, maybe this is like the crossroads of antiquity. Meaning, just like uh, it's a crossroads that exists at the intersection of many cultures. So, almost like if almost like all temple spaces, most temple spaces lead to the realm of this pugilist. Ooh, I don't know why my nose is just like. Oh, they're right next to each other. The sun and Leo, the force and the warrior. Then on the outside is the archangel of glory and the kindred. Okay, so this was Leo season, which is honestly, it feels like it's purely internal. With the shining waters being an externalization or some kind of meeting point, but most of it was internal. I'm gonna move these up since I pulled these out too. Mars in Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini. All right, so Virgo season. Archangel of Mysteries, the angel who illuminates shadow at the bottom of the deck. And then again, there was this lady. Interesting. The angel who illuminates shadow and the angel at the cut. Cool. All right. Oh, that was immediate. Oh, well. Bottom of the deck, the Herald of the Veil. See, they have letters, sealed letters, I guess, instead of sealed scrolls. And I was watching maybe the Game of Thrones. Maybe I was watching Game of Thrones when I was thinking, like, what's the purpose of a seal? And then I guess it's like if the seal is still sealed, you can tell that the letter hasn't been opened. It inspires confidence that what you are about to read, you are the first person to read. Or at least, like, along its journey, it has not been opened. Now, if someone reseals it or whatever, then that happens, you know. You can't necessarily control that. But it's to inspire confidence, and it also authenticates um, whoever the sender is by their seal, their insignia. There are two cards that came out: the Archangel Commander and the Malaise. It's the King of Swords, Knight of Wands. It's that Nine of Wands energy that I went looking for. Boom. Feels like the first thing that Virgo season is gonna do is have us act upon something. Like there's something that we're gonna have to do. Maybe some choice or decision we're gonna make that we are now empowered to make. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the card after the Herald of the Veil, before after the Page of Earth in this deck. I'm not going to pull that card out. That's what I'm going to do it this way. It's a Herald. Herald of the Flame? No. herald of the earth, and it's the emperor. The keeper, that's Chino's tail. The keeper is behind the emperor, which is and then there's the quester in front of it. The keeper is the enlightened, awakened fool. The keeper is the fool that's gone through the whole journey, been there, done that, learned everything that they needed to at every single point along the way. So their experience, much like this shining waters, is different because the earth is alive, everything sings its chorus, and that's the fool that can hear it and participate in it. Every part and every piece. And so it almost is like it's a completely different world. It's a completely new reality. But it's just because now there is someone who's capable of hearing the hard to hear, hearing the silent, seeing the unseen. That's a fool who can do that. An individual who can do that, because we are the fool in the major arcana. The emperor is here. So the archangel commander and the emperor, very much so. I'm not like standing on our business, but it's going to be an opportunity to exercise whatever authority we've come into, almost primarily because of what was discovered in Leo season, but just in general. And because there's a book here on this Emperor's lap, it feels new. There's also this double-sided wand that gives it almost a little bit of a magician energy. But because the book is there, it's like, it's something new. Like the Emperor's like, something happens, the Emperor consults the book, the Emperor does whatever. It doesn't lessen his authority. But because he's new to it, he may want to like make sure he's making the right choices and decisions and stuff because of that accountability. And because he wants to do right by his responsibilities. The high priestess at the cut now. So Virgo season in 3 cards. And trace cards. Ooh. Maybe. Ooh. Wow. The title card and the sharpshooter, 8 of Wands. That's interesting because, again, there was that energy, the keeper, the one who hears the silent and sees the unseen. Oh my gosh. The high priestess? In that page of Pentacles, stronghold of the veil. The high priestess and the title card both came out for Virgo season. That is interesting. Is it going to be 3 pairs? Or is this third card going to be 1 card? Oh, it's 1 card. And it's face down. Hanging on to the Emperor. Bottom of the deck, guess. It's the Haunt. 9 of Swords. The same one that was the message of the Page of Swords. Cool. Who's under the Haunt? The Shining Dew. That Knight of Cups again. See, in this edition, there's no one there to sort of light the way. But in the Vitruvian I mean, in the Revelations edition, again, there was the same individual from the crossroads. Maybe she's here because it's like it's time to do something. And so it's almost like when you allow someone to grieve or to throw a pity party because how fresh a situation is, but then like something happens and or is going to happen, and you need them to like be present. So you're like, okay, like it's time to end the pity party. It's time to cut the grieving short because there's stuff to do. We can cry when it's over. We can grieve when it is finished. Type of energy. Venus in Virgo. Venus is currently in Virgo. The Eminence, Nine of Pentacles, was the third card that came out face down. It's pre-Empress energy. And it was touching the Emperor. The Ankh that the Emperor holds is bestowed upon him by the Empress. And here's this pre-Empress energy here. Let's do this again. What is the message? Seven of Pentacles, the Gardener. Saturn in Taurus with Mars in Aries behind that. Two of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. What's in Taurus right now? Uranus? I think Uranus is the only thing in Taurus. And Uranus will trine the Sun in Virgo towards the end of Virgo season. Uranus is pretty late. But at the same time, it'll also be trining Pluto in Capricorn, opposing Neptune in Pisces. We got Virgo and Taurus here. I don't think Venus is still going to be in Virgo when that happens, though. Because Venus is already at 22 degrees. Yeah, in 5.5 days, on the 29th, Venus is going to be crossing into Libra. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be retrograding back into Virgo. So Venus won't be in Virgo when the Sun makes those trines. I don't know what will. I'm not going to look ahead. It's almost like there's something out of the blue that may happen. It's like it shoots out of the void. It goes from unknown, like real quick, and it has a lot of speed. It has a lot of, and it's not that will be. It's almost like no one expects it except for whoever this resonates for. Because with the High Priestess in this Page of Pentacles, behind the Page of, or what clarifies the Page of Pentacles is the Seven of Pentacles. So, like, this is something that you've been cultivating, working on, something that you've intentionally been throughout the whole of Virgo season. Or maybe it'll be something within Virgo season that you start to cultivate and grow. But it feels like it's almost related to something that you've been in the arena of. And so you would have a little bit more knowing, Almost like, let's say you work as an event planner, or you manage the calendar of an event space, and the manager of a huge celebrity, or the agent, like a talent agency that represents celebrities, books your space. So while, let's say it's like far out. So while nothing has officially come out about that celebrity having an event or a concert, if it's a musician at that space, because of your work, because you are where you are, you can kind of sort of put two and two together. Like, okay, their agent reached out to us to book this space in 15 months. And then so maybe you look up the celebrity and you don't see anything about a tour or whatever, but you kind of know because of your work something's happening. And because of how much of a surprise this is, there may not be a lot of notice to the public. It could be like when Beyonce shadow dropped Lemonade or whatever album, I don't know. You know, like it just happens. Or when there's an announcement like tonight or tomorrow, this weekend, it's this huge thing. But because of how you're positioned, you could take a very educated guess and 9 times out of 10 be right. I guess this Nine of Pentacles, then, I was going to say it's about positioning, but Venus and Virgo today, it's speaking about finding ways to find enjoyment, or creating ways to find enjoyment. I don't know how rigorous this Virgo season is going to be. It almost, I guess the Seven of Pentacles is also there. It almost implies a little bit of rigor, a little bit of working at something, a little bit of being very mindful to provide a productive, habitable environment for something to nurture, for something to grow, a nurturing environment for something to grow. It could be related to whatever the Shining Waters is from Leo season, like continuing to grow the thing. Like you've broken the stranger's uh, barrier, and now you're sort of like reacquainting as acquaintances or as friends or whatever. Like the relationship, the bond that had deepened, now there's more being revealed. Because more is revealed, things will change, but they don't necessarily have to change in a way that is very like demanding, right? Like if you get to the point where someone starts cracking jokes with you, then you can like crack jokes with them. You know what I mean? And it's just something that maybe you wouldn't have necessarily done before you were at this point. But in order to make that relationship a safe space, then there's like a relaxing on a reciprocated, I guess, revealing, or a reciprocated relaxing. But it's like that's what this Nine of Pentacles, Venus and Virgo feels like mostly. It feels like just finding ways to continue to enjoy life, or yeah, like almost like a work life balance, I guess, continuing to carve out time for self and to keep your spirits high as whatever this is that feels like everything changes overnight out of nowhere, but kind of because like, again, you're in the know, like keeping your head above water. I wish I could remember the next line. Doing the best that you can, or making the best that you can, regardless of like temporary layoffs or good times. If you didn't get it, good times, okay? Um, yeah. Cool. That is mutable water, Pisces. Uh, full moon, lunar eclipse, Pisces with the shining waters. Cool. All right, final cards. Woo! This may be less than an hour. I'm tired today. I went to the gym. Oh, and then there's the warrior again with the angel. The warrior angel sounds like Archangel Commander to me. With the Chancellor, Justice, the Seeker, the Chariot, the Mason, Three of Pentacles, and the Reaper, Death. Priestess in the Hunt at the cut. Excuse me. Oops. Now let's put these back. Yeah, I went to the gym yesterday. Wipe me out. I went today. But I went to bed last night. I woke up early today. Like a regular, normal, decent person. And I went to sleep at a decent time, woke up at a decent time. I feel like taking a nap. If I take a nap early enough, maybe I won't be up all night. The moon, the necromancer, which is Pisces. Pisces on Pisces. And the corruptor with the erudite. Oh, look, there's the gardener at the cut. Seven of Pentacles, now in full color. And I guess, like, that's the thing, right? Because even when you're cultivating a relationship, you will eventually get to that point where you go from strangers to acquaintances, acquaintances to friends, friends to best friends, or friends to lovers, or friends to something else, to strangers. Hopefully not friends to strangers, but Five of Cups, Five of Swords. All right, final card. We'll do this one first. I pulled you first. I'll put you away first. I could have taken that. Oh, wow. 15, the demon, which is devil energy. It's Capricorn. Pluto is going back into Capricorn. But the 15 again, battling the Typhon, but it's giving me that shapeshifter energy. And there's a south node here. Now, the south node is going to be switching to Virgo in January. It's going to transit from Libra to Virgo. And with the chains on this devil, that's supposed to be the shapeshifter. It's almost like something is supposed to shift, but it hasn't been able to for one. And because it hasn't shifted, maybe there's a discomfort within the body of the shapeshifter, for one, or there's like a buildup of stagnation is causing something to, it's like damming something, but in a way of like water. So it builds up pressure to the point that it will break or burst if the material, if the walls, if the construction isn't well done enough, I guess, or intended to hold it back. This could also be us trying to lock things in. Like, let's say things shift or change and we try to like keep it, hold it somewhere. And with the South Node, that could be because of fear of things progressing, because of things of fear, because of a fear of things changing, or because of habits and because of what we're used to. This could also be difficulty in changing as things change, or difficulty like keeping up with changes as things change. And like wanting to not sabotage something, wanting to not fall to old vices. Or it could just be a misalignment between experiences, between energies. Because it's almost like the lovers, from the perspective of the demon, the lovers in front are the demon. It's almost like if there's someone that has, it's a metaphor, it's an example, like someone who has a friend that's not good for them, or there's someone in someone's life that isn't good for them, and then they develop a relationship with someone else. And maybe that someone else is like, you know, that person like isn't good for you, right? Like, look at how they treat you, look at what they do, look at what they say to you. And so to that person, this new lover, whoever type person, is like driving this wedge in their relationship. But it's just how like they're opposed. The title card is right there. Oh, the outlaw. Sacrifice, get cut out. Sacrifice. The title card is under the outlaw. Bottom of the deck is Apocalypse, which is judgment, the last judgment. So it's almost like final nail in the coffin either way. Tower at the bottom of this deck with the axe of Shiva that removes corruption. And then Nine of Pentacles. Ooh, Corruptor. Bottom of the deck is the Chariot. 7/7. 7 of Cups and the Chariot. What is that? Venus, Scorpio, and Cancer. Behind the Chariot is the Archangel Commander. So yeah, it's definitely it's a time to do what it is that we know we need to do. But again, because of the line of Pentacles, because of the imminence, it feels like it's also important for us to find enjoyment. Or peace in our lives. Because we've seen the tower, excuse me, the tower is 16, which is also a 7. But because we've seen the tower and the axe that removes corruption, I'm less worried about this corruptor. Lux et Veritas, light and truth. And we've gotten the light from the darkness, like we already had the erudite, Lux ex tenebris, light from darkness. And maybe it's because through Leo season we've recovered whatever it is that we needed to recover. That this corruptor, it removes corruption from the 7 of Cups and it leaves it as options. And maybe that's why, again, with that demon energy, with the devil energy, there could be a temptation to make the choice that we would have used to make, or just having options is something that triggers us. And then we can self sabotage I don't know if it's necessarily, again, for something like, I'm not worried about that corruptor energy. Um, we've seen the acts of Shiva that removes corruption. We face the hunt. Leo season had us face the hunt to reach the truth and the wisdom that was in there, in that path or in that corner or recess. So maybe when we didn't know, we would have made whatever decision, but now that we do, we won't. Not as susceptible, not as short sighted, and we can find pleasure in life and not sacrifice our vision or not sacrifice the vision to have those pleasures. So I don't know. All right. Excuse me. Less than an hour. I hope y'all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey what you find. I hope that when you have those time or moments where your experiences of the past that you've turned into wisdom that can help you in those times and moments, said times and moments that could be applicable to whatever situation. I hope it's like right there for you. Because sometimes I feel like we can forget what it is that we already know, you know? So, hey, Holly. Bye, Holly. I'll catch y'all later. Happy Virgo.